thanks for coming and being here. The objective of today is to give you some information, and we'll have a discussion on the installer part of working with our Equitone fibre cement architectural panels. Who am I? I am the Global Technical Manager for Facades for the ETEX Group, which means I look after all facades and stuff on the technical nature for around the world. I approximately have a team of approximately 40 technical advisors in different countries around the world who support the main markets we're in. I know the next statement is hard to believe, but I'm more than 20 years with the group. I started when I was 9 years old, and my sentence should be finished next year, and I'm free to leave. Okay? As well as being a pretty face, I also have a master's in facade engineering, but previous to that, it's not all academic. Before that, I was a roofer and an installer before I joined the group. But for the last 20 years, my hands have got quite soft, so forgive me on that side of it, but I do understand where you're coming from. So the training for today is primarily geared towards what is important for the installer. This is not a standard technical training that you would normally get from a manufacturer, which talks about half the stuff that an engineer is interested in, let's say. This has to do with you guys and working with our material on the job site, and we've concentrated it all down to them few points. Okay? The training today is two-way communication. Ask lots of questions. I don't care if we get into discussions, if we get sidetracked. If we want to have a discussion on stuff, that's no problem for me. If I have to skip a half a dozen slides because we're doing a discussion, I don't care, okay? What I have tried to do, and what I like to do with it is when I'm doing it, is I try to make everything in simple language. Try and make it easy to understand, and why the principles are easy. I get rid of all of this engineering language and make it as easy as possible. There's three general rules that I kind of put everything underneath, and probably at the end of today, if these are the three most important things to remember, is that for us to ventilate the facade, to correct fixing, and to respect the material. And everything we'll talk about today will be able to be slotted into one of these three headings. And this hopefully will trigger in your memory in weeks to come when you have a job going on that, you know, oh yeah, I remember something on that now. It's part of respect the material. Right, I'm going to go very quickly through this. This is the, you know, in Irish we call it the spiel. I just have to tell you how good we are and all the rest of it, and then we get into the real important stuff. Basically, us as ETEX Group, as a group of companies, we were started in 1905 in Belgium, and through the first half of the last century, they went on a geographical expansion around the world. And which was very unusual at that time. Like, they went to Latin America in the 30s, they were in Africa since the 1940s, we've been in Asia since the 1950s. Then in the second half, we drifted into other areas of production. The first half of the century, it was all about the dreaded old asbestos cement at the time. And then in the second half, we went into plasterboard and gypsum, fire protection, ceramic tiles, business in certain parts of the world. And then again in 2011, we had a huge investment in buying out Lafarge plasterboard, mainly in Europe, Africa, and South America. So we have a huge business now in gypsum as well as in fibre cement. Since then, this is us now. Well, this is us a couple of years ago. It's changed slightly. We have sales teams in 45 countries. We actually have 121 factories, 18,000 employees, and a turnover of about at the moment about 3.2 billion euros, which on quick calculation for you guys, about 42 billion rand, I think, off the top of my head. Yeah, roughly. And our biggest business, of course, is in Europe, where we are centred. But you can see we're spread all over the world. So it's a big multinational setup. Okay. However, you don't find ETEX listed in every country in the world. Basically, what has happened is the company has grown over the years by acquisitions. But when we buy, we normally maintain the local company's name because it has a history, it has a tradition, it has a relationship to that country and to that market. So we have many different companies. I think it's about 104, 105 different company names around the world. Now that gets terribly confusing, more for us internally than for people externally, because you'd only be dealing with the local one anyway. Okay? However, this year the company has been restructured, and since the 1st of January this year, we are now in 4 divisions. We're not geographic, we're now by building segment. So we have building performance, which covers fire protection and the gypsum business. Roofing, obviously, does roofing. Industry does very high-tech insulations, fire protections, really OEM business, like the fire protection for parts of the Airbus airplanes. You know, it's not something that you set up a couple of workshops for. It's really controlled business. The insulation for, you know, these, you probably have them here actually because it's so bloody hot. You know these sun farms? And when they gather the energy, they store the energy in these fuel cells. Well, the insulation to them fuel cells, you cannot go down to your local builders providers and buy the insulation for them. It will actually melt standard insulation, it gets so hot. So they do things like that, insulation for furnaces and all that kind of stuff. So it's really specialised. And then taken up here, the last one is us, E-Tex Facade. And anything to do with the facade around the world is what we look after. Okay, this is our vision, and everything we do in E-Tex Facade, we want to maintain, we have a passion to maintain our leadership in the world market for beautiful durable materials. Okay, so everything we'll be doing and everything we'll be doing in the future must match this statement that we do, and that's what guides us when we're going forward. Okay, that's the corporate stuff done. End of story. Oh yeah, here you go. Who wants to know about how to do a frame? Who said subframes? Yeah. Every single one of them panels is at a different, it's like the keys of a piano on this building. But every panel is stepped in and out differently than the one above and the one to each side of it. So this one is out, steps back a bit, steps back further, steps forward, steps back, same, forward, back, all over the building. Okay? I can leave you the problem of doing that at the end of the day. Okay?